Welcome back to another episode of the Speak Your Truth podcast. We in DC today, man, because I got DC heat.
We in DC with DC.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this platform here today, man. So there's a lot to talk about with you, honestly, man. You know, got the YouTube platform. You're huge with it as far as the basketball videos and what you do out there, man. And one for me, I'm a fan of it. Love what you do. Seeing what you've done with guys like Iverson, Frigga, and stuff like that. So that's really major. So for me, on my platform, what we like to do, man, I like to cover really the stuff in the DMV. But I've done a lot of my stuff in Montgomery County because that's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm in DC with you, and I'm glad that I did it at the time that we're doing this, man, because I was just mentioning to you before, like I'm about to start some things up on the side of Speak Your Truth with five footage. It's gonna be my basketball page and stuff like that. So it's gonna be someone I can definitely tap in with, learn a lot more about, in that space as far as media, and how to cover basketball within that sense. So definitely I'm humbled right now to have this conversation with you, man. So really appreciate it.
Dude, glad to be here. Glad to support you.
Yes, sir.
I love doing podcasts. I love being able to talk, about my ideas and the stuff I do behind the scenes and all that. I don't get the opportunity to do that on my channel because it's so entertainment based. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to be here, bro. Happy to support you as well.
Yes, sir. So let's start there, with the channel and everything being kind of like entertainment for you. So when did you kind of like feel that that you can go onto YouTube, you had that personality, and kind of just to deliver the content that you deliver right now?
So I started with YouTube when I was 13. I started because I was obsessed with sneakers. I'm wearing my favorite shoes right now, the Prelude 2s. We might need a sneaker shot too. We might need the third angle right here.
Oh, right.
But so I was obsessed with sneakers. I was obsessed with basketball, and I was just watching all this content, hooping, buying shoes, trying to save up, do little chores, do little jobs around, and try to save up and get money to get shoes. And I was watching all this content. I saw this kid who was just like me. He was 13 years old, making sneaker content, white kid, average hooper just like me, and he just hit 10K subscribers. And I was like, dude, this is literally proof that I can do this as well. So then I just started. My first video, I'm uncomfortable as fuck, I'm awkward as fuck. It was a 30-second video, it's still up on my channel. It's called the DC Heat intro video. And it probably took me an hour to film that 30-second video. I kept fucking up. I kept recording it, looking back. I'm like, dude, I'm so uncomfortable. So, but after I recorded that video, I stepped away and I just felt deep within me, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was like, I've never had a feeling like that in my life. It sounds crazy. It sounds fake. But afterward, it was like this is it. For some reason, I had that feeling, and I was like, shit. So I just kept going, and I pushed through all that, adversity, I guess, with feeling uncomfortable and anxious on camera and not knowing how to grow and not getting any views. Glory to God, I'm here today. So.
Yes, sir. So you competed at the varsity level in high school, right? So talk about kind of that filter of you being a YouTuber and also kind of being on that serious sense of basketball as well, where
definitely wasn't serious. If you go watch the video, we were some shit.
But at least the grind of it, at least, what I'm saying,
yeah.
The grind of what you put yourself through, and obviously understanding the team environment, team atmosphere, just understanding that you see in basketball something bigger than yourself, but obviously you found a way to market yourself in the basketball world. Yeah. So kind of. What was that like feeling? How did you feel, trying to work through that, the dynamic of what you were doing in your
balancing
life?
Hoop grinding and YouTube?
Yeah, the actual hoop grind and then the YouTube. I'm not saying that's a grind within itself. So these are two different grinds I'm talking about. So how would you describe all right, there's the hoop grind, you're trying to, like I say, you were competing to try, you had hoop dreams to go to D1 or whatever and stuff like that, versus the YouTube where you're having fun with it, and it's a different grind to where you're trying to have, just create content.
Man, YouTube, if you're doing it right, it's not fun. It's problem solving, just like everything else. I get people coming to me because I do YouTube coaching as well. They're like, bro, I'm like, how's your channel going? It's like, oh, I haven't found someone to record me yet. It's been 2 weeks. They haven't found someone to record them. With me, I'm working on my next video, and it's just problem after problem after problem after problem after problem that I got to solve, and I got all this different shit that I got to do, and it's like that's really what it is, and so it's. But balancing the hoop grind with the YouTube grind, I grinded hoop since I at first just loved basketball, wanted to play, wanted to be better than my friends, wanted to be good, wasn't even thinking D1 or anything like that throughout middle school throughout middle school until YouTube blew up. Once YouTube blew up with the basketball, I'm like, I want to grind basketball for my content. Then I got a trainer, and I just was literally grinding in basketball so that I could create better basketball content. So it kind of worked together.
Okay. Yeah,
but that was kind of the balance with those.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So like, obviously you had to love. So what would you say like your love kind of shifted within like basketball to like the content creation? Like what would you say like you had had that shift in that love? Because obviously you said you went through the grind. Still, you went through the grind, but kind of just not necessarily for the grind that you wanted it to be for, or not that you wanted it to be for. That grind was meant to be for.
Right. It was for YouTube.
So like you were grinding basketball,
right.
but for YouTube.
Right.
So like what was that like? So what made you like kind of
the shift from grinding from basketball to YouTube was I just started to love YouTube more, and I saw the potential. I never really thought I could go D1. Now looking back, being 6'5" and being able to be as skilled as I am today, I'm like, bro, I could have gone. I mean, I'm glad I chose the path I did, but looking back, I never had that belief in myself and I never had that vision. But once I started being great at YouTube and started growing on YouTube, I'm like, wow, basketball can actually take me somewhere. So it almost kind of amplified my love for hoop and the grind for hoop, and it just kind of made me more excited and be able to grind more because I actually saw a purpose rather than just being good and having fun and beating my boys. I could turn up on YouTube with it. So.
Yeah, man, and I'm glad you said it because that's one of the wristbands I was pushing out for a while, speaking with purpose, right? And like you said, just doing things with purpose. So within this YouTube, like what would you overall say your purpose was? As far as like why? I mean, we know basketball was that pretty much that catalyst. What I'm saying that made it what like the engine move. But what would you say was like that real purpose that made you say like I want to be the best YouTuber. I want to get to being on this platform with guys like Frigga and Iverson and stuff like that. What would you say that what
pushed me to grind on YouTube?
Yeah, where did that purpose come from?
When currently or back in the day?
Let's go both. So let's start back in the day.
Okay.
Like, you're kind of younger, but now you and that's another thing I want to kind of talk about too. Like just hearing how you articulate and express yourself. You're very level-headed. You just kind of you know what you're talking about and you can explain it to other people. While you mentioned you can be a coach. So let's talk about those two different those, I guess, time frames for you where you were kind of saying like, why am I doing this? Why I'm doing it.
Okay, so starting the purpose with YouTube was. Man, when I was real young, I used to watch gaming YouTube. I used to watch sneaker YouTube. Like I said, I was like, man, I would always love to do this. So it was just to do it as a career. And whenever I was in school, I was just sitting in class and learning this information. And there was just some rebellious nature in me to where this is dumb. I don't want to be I felt like it was like, what am I doing in here? Like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I don't really know how to describe it, but once I had YouTube, it was like, boom, okay, now this can take me out of all of this, the matrix, I guess. Right. So that's, it was a huge thing for me of where, okay, now this will be my career. It's something that I love. And at a young age, I was basically just doing school. I was put in private school. My parents wanted me to get good grades and all that. And I'm just doing the bare minimum, basically, because I didn't really see the purpose in it. Once I had YouTube, it was like, man, fuck school. I was just all on YouTube. Right. So it was to make it the career and to kind of provide for myself and all that. And now it's like that, but I have like a deeper mission within it of where I just want to help people, and I have a lot of goals, and this is gonna kind of help me reach financial freedom and build wealth to be able to have the power to do some of the things I want to do.
Yes, sir. So, where did you learn a lot about the financial stuff as far as like, did that come with YouTube or did that come from somewhere else as far as learning how to like manage money and just really like, because obviously with the YouTube and the stuff you've done, you've brought it up how you've been able to make money, create income off of this type of stuff. So where did you learn how to start managing, knowing that you had the what's the good word to say? Knowing that you had the buzz, I guess you could say that you had at the time, like knowing that each video was gonna be a hit and whatever. So how would you learn one to manage the money, but also manage the that clout, I guess you could say?
Okay, so how I guess you're asking how I got more business minded.
Yeah, business-minded, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I always kind of had that entrepreneurial nature because, like I said, I wasn't fucking with the traditional path of go to school and get a job and go to college and hopefully you can get a good job and, you know, you're going to get paid all right, but, you know, you're being told what to do and this and that and you don't get, you know, it's...
Right.
I basically saw entrepreneurship, always had an inclination for that. And how I kind of built education around that and became more well versed in that was just YouTube. So there's so much straight YouTube life.
That's the irony, right? It's YouTube, man. Everything's on YouTube nowadays, man. So,
There's guys like Alex Hormozy. If you're business minded, you're entrepreneurial minded, gotta watch Alex Hormozy. Go through his entire channel. It's gonna change your life. So I'm watching him currently. I mean, how I kind of developed it. I always had that nature, and then from a young age, I started doing YouTube, which is a business on its own. So I just learned it through experience and just saw the power of it, and just kind of understood that you can kind of apply what you learn in one business to a lot of other things. So that's kind of how I got business minded. You're talking about how I know about money and stuff. I don't know how to manage my finances at all. I know how to make money, but my mom's still managing my finances. She called me last week like, Aiden, your credit card limit's done. Like, what the fuck are you doing with all the bread? Like, so I'm just like buying more shit for new videos and all this. So I just know how to generate income. I'm building the discipline currently to manage the finances and kind of just trying to be more independent, try to get my mom exited from that. Like, I'm 21, I shouldn't have my mom in there. Right. So I'm building the discipline around that currently, but learning the business and entrepreneurial stuff is just through YouTube and through experience.
Yes, sir. That's major, man. That's major. Experience is huge. So what would you say out of you know this YouTube lifestyle for you now? Like, what would you say is let's go through your best experience and probably your worst experience. I want to hear let's go with the worst
with YouTube.
Yeah, your worst experience.
My best and worst experience with YouTube. Ah, shit. All right, my best experience with YouTube, man. I should know this, bro.
I might have got him, y'all.
My best experience with YouTube. Man, I recently did a video, Dunk on Me for $5,000 versus The Hood in New York City in the Kingdom. It's this court that's surrounded by these 4 massive projects within New York City. And the energy in there was fucking epic. And just making that video and going in there and just kind of competing with those guys and getting in my competitive zone, like that just felt fucking awesome. Sure. So I would say that's one. Yeah, that's probably the best I can think of for YouTube moment. The worst YouTube moment. Ooh, I'm gonna get into it. So, damn, bro.
Here we go.
Wait, hold up. Let me think about this. I can't get into it. My bad. I can't. I wish I could. I know.
Okay, well, you don't have to get into the specifics.
Part two.
But I will say though, I will ask this. What would you say you learned from that experience though, that made you say, all right, I can't let this happen again, type of thing, without going into detail of it, of course?
I mean, the boring shit, like being more disciplined with planning and giving each video the respect it deserves in terms of the planning and all that. You know, I basically tried to rush 2 videos out in one weekend very recently, and it ended up in me getting humiliated. Because I pulled up, talked hella shit, got fucked up.
Oh, man.
Got fucked up bad by some motherfuckers that like to fuck people up and talk shit. And then I was like, run it back, like a dumbass. Fucked up again. Run it back. Fucked up again. So,
there you go.
That was that.
I fucked it. Yeah, I hear you though, man. Those days happen. Especially with the hoops. So, like, you know, even with that, like, how would you say, like, you know, what are some of those things that you love about hooping? Like, for me, I would say, like, you know, obviously, like, the chatter and stuff like that, where the energy just gets amplified. So now everybody's competing at their best. So what would you say is, like, one of your favorite things about, you know, the hoop sessions, man? Man,
I just love to compete and to talk shit, and just like that competitive, almost wartime nature. Like I'm about to join a boxing gym in Southeast rather than Uptown, because I just want to get like, I just want to get active, bro. I don't know what it is. It's something inside me where I just love to compete. Even that day, like, so I'll tell the story. So, fuck it, we're gonna go in. So basically, I shot a video in Los Angeles, me and White Iverson versus Randoms. We played 10 straight games, back to back to back to back. They were to 7, but we played 10 of them. Boom, shoot the video, shower, get on a red-eye flight. So I'm flying from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I had to stop in Phoenix. I couldn't even sleep. So I filmed this whole video getting to a small-ass little plane with my 6'5", lanky-ass body. Get out the plane, I'm like, oh my God, my legs are done. Get in the car, drive to Baltimore for another video with a full squad. Play there. I felt all right there. My body wasn't too fucked up. And I was sick the whole time, by the way. I get to Baltimore. We get fucked up there. Like I said, this was the same video. Didn't have the right squad. Didn't give the video the planning it deserved. Want to play with some real hoopers because that's the content. Didn't have the real hoopers on my squad because I didn't prepare properly. Got fucked up. Got back in the car, drove to New York. After, played 4 games there, got back in a little car, drove 4 hours. Step out the car in New York, I'm fucked up, my body's done. Step in there, I'm like, boom, we gotta execute. Walk in there, talk hella shit, get fucked up. And 3 games of 5v5. The last game, my calves are cramping up terribly. Like I jump up in the air, my calves just pull and tense up, cramp up. And the whole time, at that point, we're getting fucked up, and I don't even care about the video. I don't care about anything else. I'm just pushing myself mentally to finish the video and to compete and to not back down and all that. Like I was talking about, that energy that just kind of fuels me. So after that, Leaky Roof, do you know Leaky Roof? Big, tough ass.
Yeah.
New York City hooper that I'm gonna go fuck up soon.
Careful, Leak.
Careful, Leak. He pulls me over. He's like, "Hey, let's do an outro for my video." Noted. We just came in, talk shit, got fucked up, got talk shit too. I'm like, I don't want to do out. What is this outro gonna be? He's gonna be like, talking wild or something. I'm like, as soon as she starts recording, I'm like, let's run one-on-one. Let's run one-on-one. I waited for her to record so he'd be like, oh, on camera, So he's like, boom, let's run it. Definitely feeling confident after what just happened on the floor. And at that point, like I said, I knew I was going to get fucked up on camera, but I'm just doing this in order to harden myself and channel that energy. So I forget your original question.
Well, I kind of forget it now too because you were going on, but I gained something else to talk about though. Like, those kind of like humbling moments, right? Because it happens a lot in basketball overall. And like for you guys, so YouTube, this is the one thing I do respect about you, the YouTube content creator hoopers, where you got, like you said, you might get fucked up one day, but you still posting it. It's still out there. It's still out. You didn't post it
because it's not the content people want.
It's not the people.
I wish I could post it, get a check off that.
True.
I don't care about the ego or nothing of that. Like I said, I went there, got fucked up.
Right.
On his knowing I was gonna get fucked up, my calves are done. I'm like, fuck it, let's run. Just in order to play. But yeah, it's all about what's best and what's the right thing to do, not what's going to make me look best. Right. That's what I'm trying to focus on. So.
Of course. And how difficult would you say is that? Because it seems like how you said these are videos you can't do. So how often would it be like where you go to do a video or plan to do a video and you can't necessarily drop it because it's not the content that you feel like it's supposed to be?
Bro, that happens all the time. Like we got to scrap so many videos. We got to reshoot so many videos. That's part of it. That's what I go back to when people are like, "Oh, I don't got someone to record me." I'm like, "Bro, you're not like." I could send them a cameraman, right. But then they're gonna be stuck once they get the cameraman. It's like you're gonna face so many problems. So it's problem solving, and then you get to be on camera a little bit. So that's really what YouTube is at the highest level. So. I keep forgetting your original questions after I fucking
No,
go
you're
on.
good,
But
man. And it naturally happens though. Like all jokes aside, like this podcast, I just try to make sure we just open conversation, make sure everything's just flowing. Doesn't feel like it's a traditional interview. You feel me?
Right.
But just because we're talking about just like experiences in life and stuff like that and everything. So one more thing. I mean, I haven't one more thing, but the other thing that kind of after hearing you talking a little bit, I'm a kind of. I don't feel like I'm pulling a card too hard or anything like that, but being you,
Go ahead.
you being the white boy that you are, and going to like these hoods and stuff like that, right? How do you feel about that sometimes though? Like knowing that, like, cause you said New York, like that shit get unchy out there. Out here southeast, you get unchy out here. So like, what do you? I don't want any man to be scared of anything. First of all, you know what I'm saying, but like, just how do you feel in those settings where it's like, damn, like I'm the 1% here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel going into these hoods and doing this wild shit? I mean, for me, in terms of the fear, it's like I don't really feel that much fear. I'm going in there. They understand what's going on. They understand it's for a video. And I've played in the hood before I was on camera a lot. My dad brought me and my boy from private school all the way to Southeast to play because that's where the Hoopers were at.
For sure.
Shout out my dad. So I know that, and then once that was over in middle school, I started playing there just like with my boys, and I know the balance of how far you can push stuff and how to kind of play around it to where nothing happens. I try my best. God's kept me safe because you never know. But I have experience with it and I understand it. So that's probably what I'd say for how I feel as the white boy I am going.
Yeah, I mean, because even that, like, because you basketball in the DMV setting, Baltimore setting, predominantly black, people just kind of taking over these spaces and stuff like that. So, how do you feel being receptive, or people being receptive to you doing the things you do? How does that make you feel sometimes? Knowing that you go to the hoods and like, oh shit, DC Heat here, you about to do whatever. How does it make you feel?
It's dope, bro. It's like, connecting to that community that, like, we'd be driving through these places when I would first go there with my dad and my friend's dad, and he'd be like, none of your friends from Mater Dei and Bethesda, Maryland have ever seen this in their life, and you're going in here to play. So that was cool, and I think it's just people go off your energy, and I don't think people in DC and in these lower income areas, they don't see color. They're just about your intention and your energy. So that's awesome, and I respect that a lot. But yeah, I think if you just, it's whatever you put out, and I'm definitely grateful because, like I said, it's dope to connect to this new community that a lot of people from my upbringing don't have the opportunity to. So I'm definitely grateful.
Yes, sir. That's major right there, man. And for one more thing before we go, with the YouTube, and for me, right, because I'm learning a little bit more about the YouTube space as far as how can I implement myself better into it.
Yeah.
So let's go into like a couple tips. You know what I'm saying? I know you coach about this now, but what would be some free game to some YouTubers out there or people that's trying to be a YouTube out there? As far as how they can manage their account or what they can do as far as get their views up or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit, bro, this is all I do all day. I got like 10,000, 20,000 hours in this, and you're gonna ask for what's some advice? It's like hard for me to consolidate it.
I know it's hard to consolidate it, but I'm just saying, like, let's say like this is someone that that they're kind of at that fence, and like, I kind of want to do this.
Kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you kind of want to do it, you got to do it. That's the only advice there. But once you start, what you be thinking about, like the major keys with YouTube. All YouTube wants is for people to click on your video and watch the whole thing, and then click on another video and watch the whole thing, and then just go down a rabbit hole. That's how they're going to push your content. There's 3 elements that you want to hit with your video. You want people to click it, watch the whole thing, and then put an end screen at the end of the video, and then push them to click that next video. Just have them go down a rabbit hole. So it's those 3 inputs. Click it, watch the whole thing, click the next one. So that's the result that you got to get. And then in terms of how you do that, how do you get people to click? How do you get them to watch the whole thing? How do you get them? So starting with getting them to click, it's the idea, and then it's the title and the thumbnail. Choose a really good topic, a really good idea that you really believe in, and then a short, simple title and just the most amazing thumbnail you can think of. What I do with my thumbnails is I shoot a bunch of different, like we just shot an asset of Ant standing right there acting like he's about to play me in White Iverson. So I get different assets, I come up, I sketch a thumbnail, I create different assets, and then I literally just send a video recording of the sketch and me talking over it to a thumbnail editor. I tell them, create this masterpiece sketch that I come up with, send it to a professional guy. Take that and do whatever you want with it. So that's the thumbnail. Title, keep it short, and just, your title should just be your idea, and then you just say it. The idea should be so good, dunk on me for $5,000 versus the hood, that you just literally say it. You don't have to like, insane, da-da-da. No, your idea is so crazy, you just say it in the title. Thumbnail, just make sure it's a banger. Like I said, it's hard to consolidate all this.
Right.
Getting people to watch it, the first 30 seconds is everything. So you want to hold their hand, you want to talk to them, and you want to just be like, today we did this crazy thing. You talk about exactly what they just clicked the title and thumbnail for. You give them that, and then you build it up. You try to make it seem more insane, more crazy, and you just try to hook them for the video in those first 30 seconds. And then within the video, you just try to make it as action, like it's just human nature. Like you try to just make every part you can so good and hook them to get to the next part and hook them to get to the next part that they just can't stop watching. And then at the end of the video, you can just have a little marketing push. Everyone's got their own intelligence and problem-solving ability, so just use that to get people to click your video, watch the whole thing, and then watch the next one. That's what I would say. And then those are some of my strategies that I do in order to do it.
For sure. And like you said, obviously this all consolidated. So how can they learn more? If there's a way to learn more from you specifically, is there a way they can do that yet?
So currently I had a YouTube coaching program, but I was trying to run that and my channel, and I'm just not a experienced enough entrepreneur to be able to do it, both those at a high level. So currently I'm going to go dominate YouTube. I'm going to get 10 million views per month. Currently, I'm at 3. I've built that up for the last year. I was at like 500K to $1 million. Now I'm at 3. In 2023, I'm going to get to 10 million views per month. Once I do that, I'm going to create a coaching program and create a bunch of free stuff like this to put out there. So I'd say follow me on Instagram at DC_Heat. And there, within a year, you'll see some stuff. But the best YouTube advice you can get currently, watch Mr. Beast interviews. Podcasts just like this, and Mr. Beast speaking. Watch the Colin and Samira one. It's the best industry leader, the best guy in the world at this, just giving out free game. Don't listen to my ass, go listen to Jimmy. So that's what I would say.
For sure. But they're going to listen to you one day, though, man, for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is all about, because you're on your way to doing what you're doing with your platform. Like you said, 3 million to 10 million. Like, these are numbers that some people can't even conceptualize in their brains yet. You know what I'm saying? But you've done that at 21. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So
thank you, brother.
Give you your flowers for that. Definitely got to commend you on that, bro, because you doing amazing things, man. A little bit of fun before we get out of here. So what was your favorite city to play at?
New York. I love playing in New York, bro. It's like DC, everyone's more chill and not more. I don't know. Motherfuckers in New York are just crazy, bro. So it just like
the energy, like,
it just gives you just constant energy. So, and I guess also when I go there, I'm doing wild ass shit. So, but New York is my favorite place to play.
For sure. Who are you? All right, you're 5, right? Out of YouTubers, you got to make a 5, like 5 on 5. Who are your other 4 gonna be?
I want to do a video called something like the most legendary, or the street ball dream team, or some title
sure.
with that.
Yeah.
I want to do me, the professor, Devontae Friga, Tristan Jazz.
Okay.
And fuck, we have 2 point guards. We need a big. Not Chris White's ass. No, sir. Who's the big, dude? We got no bigs in the basketball community. That's why.
It's street ball. So do you really need that big? Do you really need that big?
Should we just go all Showtime?
I mean, you could
The
go all
5th, we
Showtime.
go all Showtime with Bone Collector.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the 5.
Oh wow. So you said you, Frigga, Professor,
Bone Collector,
Bone Collector,
and Tristan Jazz.
Tristan Jazz. Okay. That's a pretty cool 5. I can't lie. It's a pretty cool 5.
Yes, sir.
All right, and right before we go, man, you gotta give me some people that you would recommend to come onto the show to do an interview with me next, man. Who you got? I need some good suggestions, man.
Damn, DMV people that should speak their mind. Fucking Paco. Shout out Paco. Next guy on the platform should be Paco.
Paco.
Maryland rapper.
Okay.
Tough as shit. Hella underrated. Paco. That's the one.
Okay, Paco. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm big on the Maryland artist, so I'm definitely gonna tap in and see what he's talking about for sure. So that's the only one you got for me, Paco. Paco, the only one. Man, I mean, I'm not trying to put no pressure on.
We need more creators and motherfuckers in the DMV doing shit, bro. I can't even think of one like that. Fucking. Don't even know, bro.
Damn.
Don't even know.
It's all good. It's all good, man, because we love everybody here at the Speak Truth Podcast. And thank you one more time to DC Heat for pulling up. Oh, not said pulling up. I pulled up on you. My bad, bro. This is the first time I did this on somebody, man. I'm out here in DC with DC Heat.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? Out here in, I'm not going to say Uptown. We're going to say Uptown. I ain't going to
say
put the whole
Uptown.
location out there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We out here in Uptown, man. Had a good time out here. Definitely got the good thumbnail for him. First time I did something like that too. So like I said, me being in this space and being around people in this atmosphere, I'm learning how to do some of these things and linking up with you, man. This is huge, major for me. I appreciate it, man. And just like that, man, it's a lot of love and peace in the room. So I think we got to end it off just like right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We out here.